Hello everyone, and thank you for joining our Risk Tolerance and IPS Solution webinar. My name is Courtney Peak. I'm the head of support here at PreciseFP. A little housekeeping before we do get started today. Everyone is on mute, but if you have any questions, please feel free to put those in the chat box, and we'll make sure to respond within 24 business hours. All right, let's go ahead and get started with what is risk tolerance? Risk tolerance is a psychological aspect related to a person's level of comfort in taking financial risk. Investors generally differ in the amount of risk they feel comfortable taking. While some people embrace risk, others may tend to avoid it at all costs. So why should you take time to calculate your client's risk tolerance score? First, because it's going to help you determine your client's willingness to lose some or all of their investment in exchange for greater returns. It's essential to define a proper asset allocation model for your client. And lastly, because the risk tolerance score is one of the key pieces of information you need to know to ensure you comply with FINRA's KYC rule. Contrary to other risk tolerance solutions, PreciseFP does not try to do your job for you. We believe that risk tolerance is important, but it is not the only aspect that should be taken into consideration when recommending a course of action to your clients. Instead, we help you on every step of the process, from calculating the risk score to capturing a signed and approved investment policy statement, leaving you with more time to construct an appropriate asset allocation for each client. So our solution consists of 2 customizable form templates for you to engage your clients with. Our scientifically validated risk tolerance questionnaire consists of 13 questions that result in a 0 to 100 risk score. This was originally created by Professors John Grable and Ruth Lighton. The questionnaire has been successfully used to calculate the risk score of more than 200,000 clients. Our customizable investment policy includes not just the risk score generated by our risk tolerance questionnaire, but also the investment model, time horizon, investment objectives, and all other information your client should review and approve. And it can be electronically signed and provides a certified signed PDF for your records. And of course, our IPS can be easily customized to reflect the needs of your firm, including but not limited to the ability to adjust any model portfolios you may use. Now, before we start, just want to go over quickly a few definitions of terms that you may see or hear often during this presentation. So the first one being accounts, which are your client or prospect household records. Other applications may refer to them as just clients, households, contacts, or records. An account will always include one main client and may sometimes include a co-client, such as a spouse, partner, or significant other. Form templates. In essence, form templates are smart dynamic forms, and they're fully customizable, and we do provide a large library of ready-to-use templates for a multitude of situations. Engagements. When you engage a client or a prospect account with a form template, a new engagement is created. Engagements are going to store the information input by the client and can be previewed or printed exactly as they left it. And lastly, the account profile. This is where your client's relevant data is stored: contact information, household information, assets, liabilities. This all resides in the account profile. We use that information to pre-fill some engagements, and when your client completes them, we automatically update their account profile to include this new collected data. And some information from the profile can then be exported to other systems via our integrations. Now let's go ahead and start by showing you PreciseFP's scientifically validated risk tolerance questionnaire. We're going to go over the template, engage a client with it, and show you where we store and use the risk score. So let me go ahead and change out my screen here. Let's go to the template library, the form library here. And you're going to find the risk tolerance questionnaire under the surveys and polls subcategory of the form library under form templates. You can also go up here and click on the drop down, and under surveys and polls, you'll find it here. Let's do just a quick preview of it first, just so you can kind of take a look at it, and then we'll go into installing it and engaging a client with it. So as you can see, just kind of going through here and doing a preview, you'll see the questions here. And then at the bottom of this template, it shows the source and asks for the person taking this to input their name, email, and mobile number. And then at the end, it does provide them with what their risk score is and shows them this chart of where they're at. Very low, low, moderate, high, or very high. Then we'll go ahead and show you where that score stores to the profile. And then what we'll also do is jump over to the IPS template. We'll walk through that and simulate an engagement and show you how the client can actually review and electronically sign that IPS. So let's start again with the risk tolerance here. Let's go ahead and install this template. All right, so now it's available under My Templates. Let's go to a client and engage them with this form template here. So let me go to one of my clients here. I'm going to click on Engage. I'm going to choose with a form, and it will show you your 5 most recently used and recently updated, or you can do a search for the actual form template. But in this case, I just added that, so it's showing up under my recently updated, so I'm going to choose that. Now, because the risk tolerance questionnaire is meant to be taken by an individual, if you're looking to send this out to both the client and the co-client, you'll select the client first. You can send it immediately. I really don't find people that review and edit it first, because we really just have questions on there for the clients to fill out. And then once you've sent it out to them, then you would just come back out here and click on the clients again, click on Engage with a form, choose that risk tolerance, and then just choose the co-client as the recipient. This will give them both their own individual form that they can then provide their both their individual answers on it. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to pull up the engagement link here, because that is just a sample client of mine. Let me go ahead and get that link, and let's open that up as if we are the client. So I'm going to, in this case, just open up a new browser, because I don't want to do that when I'm logged into PreciseFP dashboard as the advisor. There we go. This is the risk tolerance questionnaire. So I'm going through here. I'm just going to kind of quickly pick some answers, because I want you folks to see what the calculation does at the end. Each one of these answers has a weight to it, which we worked with the professors to come up with a scoring system for this. So here we are. It's asking for her name and her email address. And let's finish that. And it shows that her score is 57. So that makes her fall right in the middle under moderate there. And then now, let me go ahead and have her close out of that. Let's do a refresh in PreciseFP. Now I want to show you where that information goes for the client. So what you'll do is you'll go to basically the client's account, click on Profile, and then what you'll do is under the client details page, you'll scroll down a bit, and then there's this risk tolerance field right here. This is where that score stores at every time that they do take a risk tolerance questionnaire. Now, with the risk tolerance questionnaire, this is not something that we store in the profile, and there is a reason behind that. The reason being is because we want to send them out a fresh risk tolerance questionnaire every time we send it out. I've got some advisors who do send that out yearly. It's just part of their kind of annual review that they do. Some may send it out every couple of years. It's personal preference to you. But this way, it makes it so it's not pre-filled out. We don't want them to be seeing their answers to the questionnaire from last year. We don't want them to be influenced by that because their appetite for risk may change from year to year. So that way it's not pre-filled out. They get a blank form every single time. And if that score does change, again, it will store here for you so you can see that. Now, let's jump over again to the IPS like I mentioned earlier. I want to walk you through that template. I want to show you what that looks like when we prepare it for someone. And we'll also look at it on the client's side too, so they can go through and sign it and show you what that end result looks like for both the client as well as for you. So I want to go to the form library. And here is the IPS. Again, what I can do is I can, under categories, this is actually under our policies and agreements subcategory. So I'm going to click on the IPS and I'm going to install this. Now I do have it previously installed. I'm going to replace the existing version of it that I have. Let's take a quick preview of this just so you can kind of take a look at it. And then we'll dive into editing this in just a moment here. But I just, again, want to show you just a quick preview of it. All of this that you see here is customizable. We're going to prepare this for a specific client. So obviously nothing is filling out here because we're just looking at it in preview mode. But this way you can kind of get just a general overview of what it looks like. Now that we have this installed, let's go in and let's prepare this for our client. So I'm going to use Emily again, just because she did just fill out the risk tolerance questionnaire. So I'm going to go to engage with a form, and there's that IPS because I just updated it. So what I'm going to do is, in this case, I'm actually going to select review and edit it first. So I'm going to choose create and edit. And this takes me into edit mode for this when I do that review and edit option. So it creates the form, but it doesn't send it out to them just yet. So it allows me as the advisor to come out here and fill out the IPS part of it. So here's her personal detail information. This is great because I already have this information on file for them. And when they get this, if any of this has changed, they can review that and do that, which I'll show you when we open it as a client in just a moment here. But in this case, I actually already pre-filled some of this before. Now, this is based on the last IPS that I prepared for her. So if you recall, her score fell under the moderate, which would be actually balanced for the investment model. So that's going to change up a little bit. And I can go through and I can change any of this information if it has updated and, fill in the rest here. But what I'm going to do now is go to the next page and her risk score populates here. This will happen automatically. And then she'll be able to sign where her signature spot is. So as I'm going along as the advisor and filling this out, it does autosave for me. So when I'm ready to get this out to the client, I can close out of that edit mode and I can either click on the send button, which will send them an email with a link, or I can just copy the link and send it out of my own email if I prefer. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to, again, pretend I'm the client. I got the email, I'm going through, and because this is a high security level form now, it is going to require the client to authenticate. So in this case, my client Emily has already created a password due to previous forms that I've sent out to her. So it's just asking her to verify herself with her saved password. And here's what the form looks like for them. So they're going through here and they can see what's on file already. Can keep going through the form here. I can see where my advisor filled out all of this information for me. So as a client, they're going to appreciate this, that they could, this is already filled out for them, especially this part here, right? They don't have to fill this out every single time. It's already there. And then when we get to the last page, Emily's can see her risk score. She probably recalls that from taking her risk tolerance questionnaire. And now it's asking her to come out here and just sign this. So I'm going to go ahead and save that and finish. And then because she has an in this case, a husband, her husband's name is Brandon. What it's going to require is it's going to require both of them to sign. So let me go ahead and just do that for them now. I'm going to go ahead and have Brandon sign because I want you guys to see the end result for both the client as well as for you. So now Brandon is going to go ahead and authenticate. You can go ahead and send the same form to both of them. I'm just kind of doing this a back way. So what it will do is the previous step when I was preparing the form for them, I can choose to have both of them be a recipient so they both get the form. There we go. I'm going to sign as him now, and let's finish that. And now it will provide the clients with the option to download their signed IPS. So let's go ahead and open this for them. So we're looking at this as the client now, so they can see all that information filled out. They can download this, save it to their computer. Now they've got that IPS. Now let's go back to PreciseFP and show it for you. So let's just do a refresh here. So there is that completed IPS by the client. Let's go ahead and click on this. Our engagement details panel will pop up here. And then what we can do as the advisor is we can come out here and we too can go out here and click on this. And same thing for us. It pulls it up as a PDF and we can download this and save this or print it or whatever we need, and it captured the risk score, their signature, shows who was logged in, the date and time that the signature was placed, all of that, so you get that proper signature attribution. So that is completing the IPS after getting that risk tolerance questionnaire. You saw that risk score flow through to the IPS automatically for you. Now let's dive into how you can customize the IPS. And we'll show you too how you can include the risk tolerance questionnaire portion in other templates, because we get asked that a lot. Can I add and this isn't just limited to the risk tolerance. You know, this will kind of give you ideas of how you can go out there and bring other forms into other forms, so kind of combining them. And then we'll go ahead and, modify the investment allocation model, show you how you can do that as well. So first, just the quickest one, I'm going to show you how you can actually take that risk tolerance questionnaire portion and bring it into another template. So let me go to the form library here, and I'm just going to pull up one of these fact finders. Pull up the quick fact finder here. This is one of my favorite ones that we have, that quick fact finder. It's so good. I love it. Let's go ahead and install it and customize this. Now, because I already have the risk tolerance questionnaire installed, it's available under my templates. I'm going to open up this quick fact finder because I want to make the risk tolerance a part of this quick fact finder. So in the template editor for my quick fact finder along the right hand side, I can see the pages that already make up this particular template. So let's click on new page. Click on Import From, choose another template, and what you'll do is you'll just do a search for risk tolerance, which I've had it installed a few times here, and then you'll just select the questionnaire. So this will bring in the questionnaire portion of the risk tolerance for you. As you can see, now it's got all of the questions there. It will have the score field here. This is personal preference to you, but this information is already a part of the fact finder. So I always recommend deleting this just because you don't need them to give that to you twice. So you can go ahead and delete that. And then if you also want the scoring element to appear on it, that nice little badge where the number appears, that is something that you can also copy in. If you want that to appear like right below the risk tolerance questionnaire, what I would recommend is coming out here, leave this score field here. This is important. This is hidden, but it's a calculated field that calculates the score and it displays it in that nice little badge that we have. So let's go ahead and create a new cell right below here. And let's do new element, import from another template. do risk tolerance, and then you'll be presented with all of the fields on here. And basically what you'll have to do is you're just going to have to locate that, the score field. And you can do it actually, nope, bear with me. Let me do this. Let me do new group, import from another template, risk. Here we go. This is much easier. My apologies. So do the results. Copy in the results. There we go. So that's much better. Just do it as a group copy. I'm going to do that one more time so you can see what I mean. Ignore everything I did here. Come over here and click on new group, import from another template, choose the risk tolerance, and choose that results. And it will bring in that nice badge element here and this chart that'll show them where their risk score falls at. Just take a look at this and click on it and edit it. Now, when you do copy it in, it does remove the connection. So what we'll do is we want to show the value from the, score. There we go. So now what that means is the score, the number that calculates here, will display in this score badge. So that's how you can bring in the questionnaire into another template. Now let's go ahead and focus on customizing the IPS. Now the IPS portion is a part of what we call the data set. If you're following along and you do not have access to the data set, this would mean that you are not the company admin of your account. Only the company admin user has access to these application settings here. Now the IPS is a part when you do install the IPS from the library, you will now have this investment policy piece under your data set. So that investment policy page on the IPS template actually connects to this investment policy piece from the data set. So that's when I was preparing the IPS for that specific client, you saw that that information was pre-filled out. That's because I had my client actually do a risk tolerance questionnaire before, and I had already prepared an IPS for them. So it's stored to this data set here, or the account profile. And as you recall, when I was mentioning earlier, the account profile is used, some of that information is used to pre-fill some of the engagements. So that's what happened there. This is all tied to together. Now, let's say the investment models that we have, maybe I want to call them something else. What you'll want to do is you'll want to come out here and update that in the data set first. So come out here and click on the investment model, click on the pencil icon to edit it, and you're going to see the available values that are already here. So these are the ones that we have. If you want to change these to say something else, it's literally as simple as just coming out here, deleting what's there, and you can change up the text that's there. If you want to maybe add another one, you can come out here and you can do that. So this is, each one of these fields are absolutely 100% customizable. Checkboxes, these drop downs, if you want to add more options out here, you can. Even if you want to maybe add more fields to the IPS, that's certainly something you can do. You can come out here and add a field anywhere that you want. So it's very similar, as you can see, to kind of adding fields on like a template. You'll come out here and you've got the drop down where, the button where you can add a new row underneath, and you can resize the fields here, and you can go out there and anywhere you've now got an empty cell, you can come out here and you can add a new field. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that just so you can kind of see how the process works of adding it here and then bringing that into the template. So I'm just going to add just a sample text element here now to our IPS page in the data set. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back to templates, my templates. I'm going to click on the IPS. I'm going to click on customize. I'm going to go to that investment policy page here. Now, as you see, I do not have the actual field here from the data set that I just added, that sample one. So what I can do is I can actually come out here, and a couple things that I can do is I can go to form library, install template, replace existing version, yes. And let's go back to the IPS. And let's go to customize. Let's go to the IPS. And okay, so what I can do is I can come out here and actually go add new element, import from the data set. And then what I can do is I can do a search for that field, which I did actually add that from the IPS out there. So I can come out here and there's that field. I now have it as part of the data, or excuse me, the template. So what that means now is because I have it as a data set field, when someone fills out data into that field, let's go into one of my clients' profiles here. And let's go to investment policy. I now have this sample field that I just created as part of it all. So it's all connected. So that field is connected to this profile field. So if my client puts something or I put something in there on that sample field and I prepare an IPS for them, that field will be pre-filled out. If I change it on the actual template, it'll store here and it records all of that information on the profile for them. So that's how you can go out there. You can customize the IPS, how to send it out to a client or a prospect, how you can capture those risk scores. You can engage both the client and the co-client with the risk tolerance. Everybody will have a spot in the profile here for their risk tolerance score. And then you can prepare the IPS for them as well. So I hope that answered the questions about the risk tolerance and IPS. This is definitely a very powerful solution. This is included in the cost of PreciseFP. For more in-depth demonstrations, please feel free to watch our solution webinars where we dive into real-world situations and show you how you can take advantage of PreciseFP in different areas of your practice. Just go out to PreciseFP.com and click on that webinars page. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Hit us up on the chat. We're there Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you all for joining today. Take care.